With any aquarium, it's super important that the aquarium is totally level, and it's also really important that the lids are level, because if the lids aren't level, then watch this. If we lift that up, all the condensation, then it rolls off in one direction, and if it's not level, it can easily make it look like it's leaking. So what we've done today is we have a beautiful angel. We have a catfish under there. We have a silver shark, and we have a clown loach, and they're all very healthy and happy. And now we're going to add some more fish. So what we have here is a neon blue acara. So he's a beautiful blue fish with red trims. And then we have in here a Venustus and an electric blue. They grow up to be very colourful fish. And last of all, we have some electric yellows. And we have an albino dragon peacock. So these fellas should add a good splash of colour into this tank. So now what we have to do is just wait about 20 minutes, often half an hour, just to stabilise the temperature. Then we can let these fish go, and they can beautifully populate this aquarium. Now these fish are looking very good, but I do want to just be conscious of the belly of the fish, particularly this angel. He's just a little bit on the skinny side. So we want to just pay a little bit of attention to this guy and make sure that he's getting enough food, because he looks great, but I'd like to see him fatten up just a little bit. He's just on the skinny side. Because it's really important to know what our fish should look like, and to make sure that we're feeding them enough to ensure that they look the way they need to look. So he's gone over to say hello to his new friend there. But it is very important anytime we add fish to keep an eye on them, because we do need to make sure that they are going to get along. Because when you add new fish to a tank, it is very common that they have a little bit of a fight for a few days, because what they're going to want to do is establish their dominance. So this angel, for example, he might want to go and give everyone a little bit of a hard time, because he might want to show them that he's the boss around here. And that strategy may or may not work. If more fish were to go in here, I'd really like to see maybe like a second little filter or a bit of aerator. Just get it a bit more water flow. But all in all, it looks really good. Okay, so in general, clown loach, which is that stripy one, and the silver shark, the bigger one, normally very good friends. They usually get along very well. But this fella does seem to be harassing this silver shark. He's biting his fins at the bottom. It doesn't seem to be a major issue, but it's definitely something I'd keep an eye on. And also the angel has got quite a few nips out of its fin. So I'm going to assume that this clown loach is getting very nippy. Now, when there's not many fish in the tank, individual nippiness or individual disputes can be a problem. Now these fish are not acting stressed, so I'm not really that worried about it. But considering we're putting more fish in the tank, that means that this situation may very well get better, because aggression is dispersed. So the more fish you have in the tank, the more any aggression tends to be dispersed, and the less issues you tend to have with individuals. So right now, I don't actually think this is a problem, but it is something I'd like to raise and something I'd like to just keep an eye on, because I don't want to see behavior that can result in stress. So this clown loach just needs to be monitored And if you found that he keeps nipping and you see the fish being stressed, which they're not at the moment, then you may want to consider removing that clown leech. But I definitely want that angel fed up a bit more. Nothing to worry about, but something to watch. Now I am going to ask that we keep an eye on that temperature, because I just measured it and it's 23. Now I'm not real worried about 23. 23 is okay, but I just want to keep an eye on it because I'd rather it be a little bit warmer than that. The heater is definitely working. I just checked it. It is definitely set right. So whether it's just quite cold here, being Sydney in winter, if the temperature isn't going to stabilize more like 25 by just checking it every now and then, basically we've got, what we really should be doing is just adding an extra heater. Because over time, I mean, this heater looks pretty old. I don't know how old it is, but it looks old. And over time, they can sometimes not be as efficient. What you don't really want to do is just go turning it up, because the heater just turns on and off according to a thermostat. So I've just turned it up a tiny bit, but I don't want you to go turning it up too much. Otherwise, when you get a hot day, then you can cook your fish or you can end up becoming a problem. So the heater's set properly, but if the temperature isn't going to stay closer to 25, knowing that I'm not terribly worried about sort of 23, but then I would like to just keep an eye on it, and if so, add in a second heater, because as the heaters get older, they're not as efficient, and having a spare one may be a very worthy suggestion. So these new fish, just settling in, getting to know this environment. I'm not foreseeing any issues here. They've been acclimatized. All that I suggest is going to happen now is a little bit of rough and tumble while they work out who's going to be dominant over who. But once these fish settle in and they start to show their colour, and also with a lot of cichlids, as they get bigger, the colour will get better. So this tank is going to look very alive soon. Should really bring another ornament to go there next time as well. That looks awesome there. That looks pretty cool. But at this stage, everybody's happy. Everyone's doing what I imagine they would do. Very happy with that. That is very good.